Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakah Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, or the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushua. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalia, and I'm from the JMS Jamaica Kingston camp. And this video is about the pestilences, which is a part of biblical prophecy. All right. So we have some news from this H5N1, which is the bird flu, avian flu. And I've been keeping track of it, right? Because I've noticed that there has been a continued story regarding this bird flu and it developing. And I actually seen a brother from Australia do a video on the first official reported case of the H5N1 avian flu in Australia, right? Which literally, when I type it into Google, H5N1, this is what comes up. And the first article posted 19 hours ago, Australia reports imported human H5N1 avian flu case and unrelated high-path poultry outbreak. It also says bird flu is hitting Australian poultry farms and the first human case has been reported. And so the rest of this title has been reported in Victoria. Here's what we know. And the story, right, the way the story is going is the same exact tactic that was used before the worldwide 2020 situation occurred, right? First, it occurred in some kind of place, right? They said it was in China, coming from a specific animal. And then all of a sudden, there was a human outbreak in that area. Then we learned that there were apparently travelers from said country to other countries, you know, like a one-off person, which then apparently that person landing and other people landing from the plane or from that came from that place, like apparently it was enough to spread to hundreds of thousands of people according to their reports, right? So here it is once again, the same kind of narrative, right? And it's ramping up. You know, it's not like everything that is seen, you know, but this one's ramping up a bit. In the book of 2 Ezra chapter 15, it says, "Fear not," verse 3, verse 2, I'll start at verse 1. Okay, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, who are the Lord's people, the Israelites, the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." So the Lord is bringing judgment because the world is wicked. The earth is ruled by the wicked right now, who are the Edomites, Job chapter 9 and verse 24. And they are the so-called white people, and their ways of wickedness has consumed the earth. And, you know, as it says in the book of Job, his bounds are appointed that he cannot pass. So this kingdom has an expiration date, and we're swiftly approaching that expiration date. And that is why you see things ramping up in regards to biblical prophecy each and every day. All right, so judgment is coming, and one of the judgments is the judgment of pestilence. Now, this thing, you know, the thing in 2020 was very, you know, suspicious, right? But the Lord said that the Lord will be bringing judgment and pestilence, right? You know, we are in fact heading into these days, right? In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, and verse 7, straight to the point. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right. And Jacob's trouble is going to be a time like this, as it says in 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 17. The prophet Ezra saw, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days. This is just simply a vision that he saw, right? But you know, them visions can be feeling very real. You know, if the Lord chooses to allow that, you know. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning is the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Yeah, even those who are in charge are going to be afraid of the time of Jacob's trouble. You know, even they're going to be afraid because, you know, we don't know what will happen exactly, but, you know, Yahweh Shemishai is in control and Esau Edom is not, right? So they have no power to determine things at all. And when it is that they're seeing everything that's happening around them, they're going to be in great fear as well, right? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So there it is. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish, right? So plague, okay? The Lord talks about the pestilences, right? In Ezekiel, okay, here's one. In Ezekiel chapter 5 and verse 16, let's just start there. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, in which I will send to destroy you, and I'll increase the famine upon you and break your staff of bread, which famine is a part of what's coming as well. All right, many things are in the works, right? And it says, so I will send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. The Lord Yahweh have spoken it. So this is judgment coming to the wicked of our people, man. Okay. Death by famine and death by pestilence. And pestilence ain't no joke. Right? Pestilence here, pestilence, plague. Okay. When you look at what pestilence is in Google, all right, pestilence is this. A fatal epidemic disease, especially bubonic plague, right? It's a contagion and infection, an epidemic, right? So the Lord will be bringing the pestilence, a true and awful fatal epidemic disease is coming to this world in these end of days, right? A real one, right? Where you're going to be seeing people drop down by the thousands, like actually, and there won't be any questions about what's going on, right? It is coming. Okay. So taking a look back at this situation with this bird flu thing, other reports, you know, has come out just 17 hours ago. Second human case of bird flu in US, Michigan, right? So a second case in the US, you know, Mr. Babylon is reporting on this. Michigan reports a human case of bird flu, the nation's second linked to H5N1 outbreak in dairy cows. So they're saying, Esau is saying that this is linked to cows, right? And you know, when it's linked to the animals, speaking as a man, I can foresee them blaming the animals and calling the cow population. And you do know that they have their one of their side goals is the food, right? And changing the food into you know, like that, what's it called? You know, like they're 3D printing food and all of that kind of stuff. You know, they say like they're trying to make things out of like insects and whatever, and it's gonna look the same and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, man, they into that. So I can foresee them calling the cow population. I do know that in Europe, several months ago, probably years now, really, they were constantly reporting that there were certain outbreaks that were happening with the livestock there, specifically the chicken, the poultry, right? And they did cull that population, right? So I can envision them culling the cows, right? Because they're saying that it has the bird flu. But this is just like how it happened the last time in 2020, right? Washington Post, bird flu detected in Michigan dairy worker. NPR News, 15 hours, 17 hours ago. So this thing really is increasing. All right. Of course, I will continue to watch it. 3 weeks ago, see, it's a narrative that they've been building on. 3 weeks ago, H5N1 bird flu was circulating in dairy cows for 4 months before it was detected by USDA. So they reported this on CNN 3 weeks ago, and now after 3 weeks, the second case that they're confirming, yes, it's coming from the cows, according to them, second human infected. Okay, so this really looks like it's CDC. Okay, right, cool. Okay, so you know what? The pestilence really is coming, right? The Lord is going to be bringing that judgment. And for all of you that don't believe, right? Because we'll see how this one goes. But the point is that a true and real and devastating pestilence is going to be coming. It's going to be on its way. It could be this one, right? Because when you look at Bible prophecy and you look at everything that is to come to pass and how it's all being developed, I'm talking specifically about the Mark of the Beast prophecy, which is that market chip. You can see that everything really is coming together. Like, I envision like this one like area, and you just have all of these other lines just slowly but surely moving towards this one area, right? And then that one area, when all of these lines arrive to it, it's like boom, we're in it, we're in the midst of it all, right? And I can foresee it like all happening in succession, close to each other, all at once, But yeah, man, there's another precept in the book of Ezekiel. I'll get it. Because some people believe that they will be safe in some locations, and some believe they will be safe in other locations. And the thing about it is that the Lord gonna get you regardless. All right, Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 15. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. So those of you that go out, into the field, away from the cities, you're going to meet up other people that had the same exact idea, and it's going to be every man for himself. So it's going to be a mass slaughter out there among the people. And don't forget that cannibalism is coming as well. So people will be slaying each other and consuming each other, which, for the Edomites, that's something that they, they're comfortable with. That's a part of their nature, right? I actually saw the other day a guy who he had his leg amputated, and apparently the amputated leg, he took it and he cooked it for his friends and family to eat, the feast of the amputated leg. And those that are in the city will die of the famine and pestilence. And that's going to be like the breeding ground for like the pestilence, really, because the pestilence, as I read before, it's literally a contagion, an infection, and when one is truly happening, it's going to be devastating. But anyway, we'll continue to look at this, see what happens. This could be the next big one that's coming, right? But they can't really use the same tactic. Or can they? Will the people still fall for it? Well, history has shown that they have. That's why Esau continuously uses the same methods, because the people continue to fall for the same trap. But the elect of the nation of Israel sees right through it all. With that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yeshua B'Shem Kodesh. Shalom.